Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Have you ever wondered what sin means? Well, I've wondered that myself, and today we're going to take a look at the meaning of sin, law, and grace in the New Testament scriptures. If you're new here, I am Chase Corrington. This is the Chase Corrington YouTube channel where we seek to achieve and maintain happiness through enlightenment, and where we seek to discover the hidden truths of our reality. So, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I got a text from my mom, and she says, it's when we forget that we are living under grace and not under the law that we get into trouble. It's when we forget that we are living under grace and not under the law when we run into trouble. So I'm like, interesting. That's a good one. Let's check it out. So Google search, and Google search live under grace, not law. 2 down from the top search result, I find BibleHub.com, Romans 6:14. The NIV reads, "For sin shall no longer be your master, because you are not under the law, but under grace." So immediately, to me, there's 3 things that stand out. There's 3 things that seem to be most important to understand. First of all, sin. Second of all, law. And then third, grace. Now these are pretty important things to understand, if you ask me, when it comes to the scriptures, because these words are pretty big words. They're pretty important to us. And if we want to know a buttload of crap about the gospel, ladies and gentlemen, then these are a few words that we need to try to understand. So when I got this message from my mom, I wanted to look it up and share with everybody what we can gather out of this. Let me share the screen here so we can all look at this together. There we go. Hopefully everybody can see that. If it's too small for you, it's probably small on cell phones. You might have to just look closer. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, sin. What is sin? Well, to most people, sin is like the bad deeds that we do, or the evil deeds that go against God, or it's like the bad deeds that go against God's law. Sin is like the account that will be judged against you. Sin is like the evil deeds that will send you to hell. Right? Wrong. But that's what they want us to believe. But let's look at what sin really means. And so right here we got Romans 6:14. I'm just going to read the verse a couple times. Sin is no longer your master, for you no longer live under the requirements of the law. Instead, you live under the freedom of God's grace. For sin will have no dominion over you, since you are not under the law, but under grace. Let's get here's the international standard. For sin will not have mastery over you, because you are not under the law, but under grace. King James, here we go. For sin shall not have dominion over you, for ye are not under the law, but under grace. So you guys got that. Now we're going to go up here, and you find where it says interlin. English, Greek / Hebrew interlinear. And that's what we're going to use. That helps us study and understand better. Here we go. All right. So directly translated over, it reads, sin for you not will rule over, not for you are under law, but under grace. Now, sin. Back to what we were getting at. What does sin mean? Well, let's click on it here. If you find the word, if you see my pointer here, you can go up to the little numbers right on top of it. Strong's Concordance, Greek, from hamartano. And you click on that number, and if your internet works properly, it loads up here, and it will give you Strong's Concordance and the real meanings, the definition, and the usages of the word. Now, keep in mind here, as we're looking, keep in mind the meaning of the word cannot be the word itself. So when you see sin, just cross it out or imagine it's not there. Because you can't, if I were to ask you, what's the meaning of sin? And you told me, well, sin is the meaning of sin. That doesn't make sense. It's not a good answer. So we're looking for better answers here. So right here, sin, a failure. Failure. Usage proper, missing the mark. So sin is just missing the mark. Guilt, a fault in an ethical essence, a loss, forfeiture because of not hitting the target. Self-originated, the brand of sin that emphasizes it's self-originated. So maybe it's us creating this internally. Maybe we're missing the mark. We're judging ourselves on our failure. Could that possibly be it? Down here, NASB translation, sin, sinful sins. Failure. Again, the Greek lexicon, failing to hit the mark. An error. So, if sin is missing the mark, ladies and gentlemen, or your failures, then that makes our verse begin, for your failures shall no longer be your master, or will rule over you, which is the Greek of be your master. So for your failures shall no longer be your master. That makes me think of in life when we're mentally beating ourselves up. We're making our failures our master over us. Now, if this misinterpretation of sin is understood correctly, it can bring us great peace. It can bring us the peace that surpasses all understanding, ladies and gentlemen. So, but if it's your first time hearing this, it might be kind of hard to get that sin doesn't mean what you think it means. That word that you're using. I don't think it means what you think it means. Inigo Montoya. But inconceivable, right? It's inconceivable that sin isn't what we thought. But it's true. Now let's continue. Now, next up here is law. Let me go back to the share. Click, click. There we go. Now let's take a look at what law means. Now that we have a little bit of a better understanding about sin. So your failures will no longer rule over you, for you are not under law. What is law? Nomos. There we go. That which is assigned. That which is assigned to you. Talking about the law here. Nomos. And then it's got the phonetics. Those are always fun. Nomos. That which is assigned. Usage, law. Usage, custom. A custom of law in general, plural, divine laws. Oh, right here, ladies and gentlemen. Of a force or influence impelling to action. So that which has been assigned to you, your custom, the customs, I'm thinking that's what that means, of a force or influence impelling to action, something forcing or influencing you to act a certain way, ladies and gentlemen. So if we put that with our verse now, let's actually look a little bit more, see if the word studies here, law of scripture with emphasis on the first 5 books. Nomos occurs without the Greek definite article. To parcel out, the word origin is from nemo, to parcel out, that which is assigned, again. Anything established, received by a usage, a custom, right there. A custom, a command. So something that's commanding you from your customs. I love the of a force or influence impelling to action. That's so powerful. That's powerful stuff right there. Instead of just law. So let's go back. There we go. Now, if we put that in our verse now, so we get, for your failures or missing the mark shall no longer rule over you. Shall no longer rule over you, because you are not under that which has been assigned to you, or a forced influence or custom impelling you to action, impelling you to act a certain way, i.e. society or socially acceptable. You are no longer under this forced action law, but under grace. Now, what does grace mean? Isn't it fantastic, the differences we get? It's just amazing to me. So our failures or our struggles are missing the mark. I mean, if sin is going to send us to hell and that's just missing the mark, then why are we even shooting any arrows? I mean, missing the mark makes me think of the struggles we go through while we're learning and growing in life. And they're trying to damn us to this word which is misinterpreted. Now, back to what I was saying here. So our missing the mark will not rule over us, for we are not under that which has been assigned to us, a forced action, but we are under grace. Now, what does grace mean? Charis. Kindness. Kindness. The phonetic for the Greek of grace is charis, if that's said right, or charis. But it means kindness. And remember, we can't use the word as the meaning of the word itself. So after grace, we get kindness, grace as a gift or blessing brought to man, favor. Boom, favor. Gratitude, thanks, a favor, kindness, charis, another feminine noun for car, favor, disposed to, inclined, favorable towards, leaning towards, to share benefit, properly grace. Right here, this is the best part. Charis, or however it's said, grace is sometimes rendered thanks, but the core idea is favor. The core idea is favor, ladies and gentlemen. Blessing. What kind of favor? Not just doing a favor for somebody, but deeper favor than that. Kindness, blessing, concession, gift, grace, gracious work, gratitude, thankfulness, thanks. Let's go down here to Thayer's Greek Lexicon. Plural from Homer down. Properly, that which affords joy, pleasure, delight, sweetness, charm, loveliness. This is all the good stuff. Goodwill. Amazing. So ladies and gentlemen, if grace is kindness, favor, a gift, blessing, gratitude, that which is the core idea is favor. Properly, that which affords joy, pleasure, delight, sweetness, charm, goodwill, and it goes on. That's all the good stuff. This is great stuff, ladies and gentlemen. So let's sum grace up to favor, and favor can contain all those good things that's listed in there, and that can be our way of containing it all. So back to our verse here. For your failure shall no longer rule over you, because you are not forced to act a certain way from outside influences. You're not under the law, but under favor. All good things and all that good stuff. Doesn't that sound good, ladies and gentlemen? Isn't that profound? That our failures will no longer rule over us because we're not forced to act a certain way? We're not forced to be that way because we are under favor, all good things at all times? Amazing. So it comes back to the point that my mom made. It is when we forget, it's when we forget this, it's when we forget that we are living under favor or grace and not under the law or the customs or the forced actions, that we run into trouble, ladies and gentlemen. It's when we forget that we're living under favor and not under law. And it's when we forget that we can just flow, that we can just consciously co-create with the universe. And amazing stuff starts to happen because the universe starts to flow back with us. We don't have to be the way they want us to be, ladies and gentlemen, because we're divine, sovereign, and free. We're spiritual beings, divine, powerful, creative, spiritual beings, each and every one of us, and we're great. We just have to find that greatness. We just have to remember that we're not living under the law, but we're living under favor. We're living under grace. And so we don't have to take this outside influence of the fake sin construct and the law, because we're not under that. Our fake sins will no longer rule over us, ladies and gentlemen, because we're under favor and everything that entails. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am Chase Corrington, and this is the Chase Corrington YouTube channel, where we seek to achieve and maintain happiness through enlightenment, and we seek to discover the hidden meanings of the reality we live in. If you get value from the content that I provide, consider subscribing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give it a thumbs down. Leave a comment and let me know why. Make your voice heard. Because making our voice heard, ladies and gentlemen, in the end, is how we will win. And we can do it together, one at a time. We will change the world. And we'll be back in the future with more interesting topics to throw your way.